Why you suck at Ghost of Tabor? You enter into raids with nothing, and you expect to leave with a $100,000 gun, tier 4 armor, and a backpack full of little goodies for you to unpack when you get home. That's unrealistic. It's bad. It reinforces your gear fear to a whole nother level because why? You're never going to touch that M4 with the hybrid scope and the suppressor and the RK6 grip. You're going to leave it on your shelf as a trophy. And your gear fear will get reinforced as you go into another raid with nothing, expecting to have the same happen again. It's much rarer than you think. And if it hasn't happened to you, you're looking at your favorite streamers and thinking, oh, that'll happen to me. I just need to continue going into these raids with nothing. Gear fear will kill you. Gear fear is killing you. This is tied to your skill level. I myself am more confident, thus gear fear is less prevalent in my playstyle. You need to overcome gear fear because you can't keep going into raids with trash guns and expecting big returns. One of the worst things that has ever happened to Ghost of Tabor, in my personal opinion, is the 0 to hero runs. Do not even get me started. 0 to hero runs have given players an unrealistic expectation of what can happen in a raid. They think that they can enter with nothing and walk out with hundreds of thousands of dollars of loot with zero resistance. Gear fear is something that takes a long time to get over, especially if you're not a confident or good player. I personally never really had gear fear, specifically in Ghost of Tabor. Now, in Escape from Tarkov, I do have gear fear. Why? Because I'm not a confident player, so that gives me this unique look. So let me break this down. What is gear fear? Gear fear is the idea that you're not going to load into a raid with good gear because you don't want to lose it. But what people don't understand that games like Tarkov and Ghost of Tabor are made for loss. The game is loss. You need to accept that. It's unfortunate, but it's true. You will lose, you will fall, you will fail. But you will rise, you'll have triumph and victory. You just need to stick it out and play smart. It's unfortunate that so many young Ghost of Tabor players, or just young VR shooter players in general, suffer from this gear fear. I believe it's truly sad. Because not only does it make the game less fun and enjoyable, but it gives you this irrational fear of something that is inevitably going to happen. Now, how do we get over this gear fear? Gear fear is something that takes time to get over. You need to grow your skill. That's just how it works. Gear fear is killing you. And you need to start killing it, otherwise it will make this game so unenjoyable for you. I love the grind, I love the difficulty, I love the loss. You know why? Because the loss makes the victories that much better. The long-standing saying stands. You have to spend money to make money. And like I said earlier, Ghost of Tabor is a game of a loss, not victory. It's of loss. And the victories are just sprinkled in there. You need to accept the fact that you will lose, you will fall, you will fail. That's fine. But you will also rise. Triumph, victory will come eventually. Like I said, I also have gear fear and Escape from Tarkov, so I have a unique look and a unique dynamic here. Now, what makes me have gear fear and Escape from Tarkov? My lack of skill on flat screen shooter games is pretty bad. My VR shooter skills are significantly better than my flat screen shooter skills. I never played much flat screen. So I'm going to take what I've learned there and I'm going to bring it over to here and I'm going to assume the same thing because I'm guessing it's the same. You're afraid to bring good guns in because you're afraid you're going to lose them, because you're going to die with them. You need to begin by improving your skill. Period. Improving your skill. You just need to get better at the game, and that comes by, well, playing the game. And I have some tutorials and videos if you want to watch. It'll help you improve, I swear. But let's move on to something a little bit more realistic. Something you can do now. And what's that you can do now? Stop being afraid. Enter a raid like you've lost. Don't have that mentality of, well, I'm going to walk out right now. Yes, that mentality might make you a winner sometimes, but it makes the losses even more difficult. You get sad and depressed thinking you're going to walk away with more money than you can handle. Enter a raid like you've already lost. That's when most of the money is made. Entering a raid like you've already lost gives you the impression that all you need to do is see how long you can survive, and you're not even thinking about making money. You're thinking about how long can I keep this gear, how good can I play. I don't enter raids and think, oh no, I have to avoid every fight. I push fights for fun. Yeah, I have some money in the game that allows me to have a little bit more freedom, but I don't let it stop me. I love to push fights for the fun of it, for the thrill, the kick. It's a good kick. Trust me, when you get that victory, I'm sure you've had times, no matter how good or bad, you've had times where you've popped off. And you've just been this amazing player, and you think to yourself, maybe I am one of the best Ghost of Tabor players out there. I'm sure everybody has had those thoughts, no matter how good or bad you are, you've had those moments. Chase that feeling of triumph, of victory. You don't get triumph and victory from doing nothing. Now, am I really sure where this is going? Absolutely not. This is my first video that I'm doing without a script. I'm just talking because this is something that I've realized is really passionate to me for some odd reason. And it's very important that I talk about it because it's such a big thing and it affects such a big part of the community. I'm sure most of you guys here are under the age of 13. I'm going to take this idea and let's say you're under the age of 13 and you see your favorite VR YouTuber does a 0 to hero run and he walks away with a $100,000 gun. What do you get the idea for? To go into a raid and to walk out with a $100,000 gun. But you need to be as good as they are. That's difficult. That's not realistic. Like I've said before, I'm not going to go off on that again, but I could. It's unrealistic. Getting over that gear fear comes with becoming a confident player. When you push fights, when you don't care about loot anymore, when it's just a thing to you. One thing that helps me whenever I get angry about something is just thinking it's a video game. It's not real. It's not true. It's ones and zeros. It's fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's just fantasy. At the end of the day, it's just fantasy. And at the end of the month or at the end of the year, it will be wiped away. Wipes happen often, every couple of months, my guess. We're already getting our second wipe, and the first wipe was in March, I believe. Now we're gonna get one in July, and that's only about a 4-month gap in between those. All this stuff's gonna be wiped away. And if you're brought down to your knees, you can always go to the daily rations if you're really out of money. Spend money to make money. That's what it goes down to. Losing that fear. You have to accept loss because loss happens and it will happen. You will lose your kit eventually. But you're thinking, oh, well, maybe I can extend that further. Maybe I can make the life of my gear further. If you're avoiding fights to make sure you keep your good gear, then what's the point of you bringing the good gear in the first place if you're not going to do anything with it? What, so you can hold it in your hands and look at it, see how shiny it is? See the nice scope and the nice suppressor, the nice grip? Gear fear plagues a lot of players. It's difficult to get over, I understand. But this is a killer and you need to kill it at the source. And what is the second word in gear fear? Fear. Fear of your gear. Fear of losing your gear. It boils down to, I will lose my gear eventually. Why not make it sooner? Because in that sooner, I could win and triumph. Getting over that gear fear is the biggest thing that stops players from excelling. 100%, I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt that gear fear is the biggest contributor to your losses. You're wasting so much time going into a raid with nothing and expecting everything. Raid after raid, you hope, you pray just to get killed by someone like me who actually thinks, who brings loot, good loot, over and over and over. This loop goes over just so you can win once or twice, maybe 3 or 4 times, sure. But you enter your raids with nothing and you leave with, well, nothing. Build your confidence as a PvPer. If you don't want to play Ghost of Tabor and lose your gear, sure, fine. I can understand you have gear fear. Then play another game. One thing that's helped me improve my just general aiming in VR is Pavlov. I play the PC version. I play Super SND, Super Search and Destroy with 24 people. My aiming, especially in something like hip firing or quick drawing or getting up your scopes to your face and then spraying in that meantime, has improved my accuracy immensely. If you're on Quest, get Pavlov Shek, play Contractor, play something that has a gun. If you don't want to lose your gear in game. Build your confidence. It may not have to be in Ghost of Tabor, but it can be in literally any other game. Building your confidence, whether it be Ghost of Tabor or any game, is key to getting over your gear fear, because your gear fear is because you're not confident. 100%, regardless of, you might think, oh, but no, I just don't want to lose my good gear. Why? Because you're not confident in your own abilities. I'm confident in my own abilities. Why? Because I'm a good player. I bring good gear, and I'm good with it. That's something I've proven. To recap, gear fear is a killer. Gear fear is your killer of your skill and your success, regardless of how you look at it. If you believe me, maybe you don't. Maybe you think that you can improve just by loading in with nothing. You can't improve at the game if you load in with nothing. You just can't. Your skill will not improve. You will not find a good gun that's good for you. You will not understand. You will not learn. You will only fall. And yeah, you might occasionally walk away with stuff, but it's just not going to happen often enough to be lucrative. Gear fear is the biggest killer. We've said that. I've stated that over and over again. So how do we get over it? You get confident as a player. Improve your shooting skills. Play different games. Play Pavlov, Contractors, Zero Caliber. I mean, it's not the best, but there are better games. Pavlov and Contractors have very realistic, very similar recoil to Ghost of Tabor. Every game will be different, obviously, but most of the stuff is transferable in terms of skill and aiming. And also, understand that your loot is already lost before you've even lost it. You will lose your loot either now or then. Why does it matter? Your loot is already lost. Think about it like that. Your loot is lost, and now you're just trying to use it up as much as you can before that time happens. Now, you don't know when that loss will be, but you're just trying to shoot, kill as many people as you can. You will not improve when you don't use good guns. If you're defending yourself, if you're not playing aggressively, I'm sorry, buddy, but you've already lost. You've already lost the mental game, because half of this is mentality. You have to be above, you have to be first, you have to see the person before they see you, because that is everything. I'm sorry if this video is more of a rant than a actual video idea with a constructed topic and everything, but I just believe that this is a true killer in a lot of players, and I can see players be frustrated about the skill and the intensity of Ghost of Tabor, when in reality it's not the game that's the problem, it's yourself. It's themselves. They cannot improve because they think that the game should be tailored to them and their skills. The game should be easy. Why? Because they're bad. Improve yourself and you will love the game. I hope you guys can understand my point here. I'm very passionate about this, probably more than I should be, but I hope you understand and I hope you improve. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your guys' support. No Spirit Wind out.